Hey guys, this is Mark Shawson, the Pattern Trader. In a moment, I'm going to show you how I made over $300,000 in a trade that I held for only 2 trading days. So last week I held a live webinar series where each day for 4 days I went into the market live and showed those on the webinar the trade setups that I was looking at. Now, I ended the webinar on Friday night by taking a look at this not well-known price pattern called the ascending broadening price pattern. And I was showing those on the webinar. I started off by showing the application of the ascending broadening price pattern on the British pound versus Australian dollar, then on spot gold, and then I showed them that I was seeing the same ascending broadening price pattern in the NASDAQ, which is the stock index in the United States that mostly is a proxy for the tech sector. And last week we had a key reversal. I'm going to go to the real-time charts, show you what I'm talking about in just a moment. But we had a key reversal at the top of what I thought was an emerging ascending broadening price pattern. And I thought that prices would then fall from there based on, again, the combination of the key reversal price action and the ascending broadening price pattern. And I took a pretty good swing at it into a rally on Friday night. I bought put options on the QQQ. The QQQ is an ETF that mirrors the NASDAQ, and a put option is basically an instrument where you're going to bet on the decline. Now, this was an aggressive bet because at the time I bought the put option, the triple Qs were trading at 334. And I was buying put options with a strike price of 320 that was going to expire the following week. That means that I needed a huge move in order to make this bet work out. And I bet quite a bit. I put 60 grand and I bought 550 put options at around $1. And today I just closed out those trades for between $5 and $8. I made between 5 and 800% on my money in 2 trading days as the NASDAQ collapsed 600 points or over 5% in just 2 trading days. I was able to snatch my profits before the NASDAQ swung up today. But again, I'm going to go to the real-time charts, show you what I was looking at, and I don't want you to start making risky bets like this. All I'm trying to do is point out, that these price patterns, when you see them, they have application to any trading instrument you're looking at. So no matter if you're trading cocoa futures or the euro versus the yen or the pound versus Australian dollar, when you see an ascending broadening price pattern, you can anticipate certain price action as a result of it. And this is what I do all the time. I just look at price action and patterns that repeat all of the time. It's part of human nature, and so you see it in the markets all the time. And I just look for high value risk reward setups like I thought I saw in the NASDAQ last week, and am able to make monster gains in the market like I'm going to show you. In this video, I want to show you this very idiosyncratic chart pattern that informed me to short the NASDAQ recently and make a $300,000 gain in just a few days by recognizing this pattern. In this chart, I'm looking at the British pound versus Australian dollar, and this is a weekly chart. And you can see right in the middle here, if you draw this ascending line that connects all of the highs, and then you draw this line that connects all of the lows, you see this ascending broadening price pattern. It's called an ascending broadening because the pattern goes higher and it goes from a narrow range and then broadens out at the top. And that's how it gets its name. It's an ascending broadening price pattern. And this by and large is a bearish price pattern. And once we see these patterns, we can actually understand exactly where this market is going to go. So once I saw this, I informed our members to get short at 196, and then the profit objective for this pattern is right where the pattern originates. So you can see this fulfilled exactly the tenets of this ascending broadening price pattern, where once it broke this support line, it went right to the low of the target area around 175. Now, in this chart, I'm looking at XAU USD. This is the ticker symbol for spot gold. This is a weekly chart. So a completely different instrument, a completely different asset class, but we see the same kind of ascending, broadening price pattern, which leads me to believe that the ultimate trajectory of gold is still lower toward the lower end of this support line around $1,700. But you can see once again that we see a completely different instrument tracing out the same ascending, broadening price pattern, which again leads me to believe that we're going to get another move lower in gold, either before we bounce from here or go lower. But that's another story for another time. I just want to point out the behavioral characteristics of this ascending, broadening price pattern. Now, in this chart, I am looking at the NASDAQ. This is the stock index in the US that is a proxy for the tech sector. This is a weekly chart. And again, this was the same presentation that I did before over 500 people on my webinar last Friday, where I surmised that we were tracing out an ascending, broadening price pattern in the NASDAQ. Now, you can see last week, we also had this key reversal price action. And what I mean by key reversal, you can see earlier in the week, it made an absolute new high, all-time high for the NASDAQ. But by the time it settled on Friday, it closed on the absolute low of that bar. This is what I call a key reversal price action, where it goes to a new high and then closes on the low, leaving the sellers in control despite the fact that we made a new high. Now, it was that key reversal and also the fact that we were at the upper level of this ascending, broadening price pattern. So based on those two pieces of information, the ascending, broadening price pattern, which is inherently bearish, and the key reversal, which signals that a move lower was imminent, last Friday, when the triple Qs were trading at 334, I bought the puts. I put a massive bet on right there. And again, it didn't look like much. You could see that we were actually going higher. And I was anticipating what had to be a huge move. I needed the market effectively to come down here to make my bet pay off. And in a moment, you'll see it did exactly that. So you could see in this week, the market just collapsed. And now we're still trading within the bandwidth of this ascending, broadening price pattern, which I believe is inherently bearish. So even if we still get another up move here, I think it's just a matter of time before we come off. And then this would be my target objective, just like in the pound versus Australian, right back at the beginning of this ascending, broadening. So I do think that we have another move lower in the very near term in the NASDAQ, in which I intend to reload and bet on this price pattern. Just to show you that I eat my own cooking and that I put my money where my mouth is. And also, there's a lot of misinformation out there, a lot of people claiming certain things. This is an extract from my personal broker account, where you can see I bought 350 of the February 26 QQQs with the 320 strike price. And this is when the triple Qs were trading at 334. They were 14 handles or points out of the money, which is a huge move in order for this bet to pay off. But you could see, based on the pattern and the price action, I thought that it would swing my way, and I paid an average price of around $1 for each one of these 350 pieces, which means that it's all based on an underlying 100 shares. So if you have 50 contracts, you have to multiply that by 100. So it actually means that you have 5,000. So I invested $35,000 on this particular purchase, and now you'll see the payoff. 2 trading days after I bought the February 26
320 puts of the QQQs for around $1. You can see that it paid off from about almost 6 times my money. Remember, I paid $1 for about each one of these. This one, I made 800% on my money in just 2 days for a gross profit of just under $200,000 in this account. And I also made over $100,000 in another account for a haul of $300,000 in just 2 days by putting on a bet based on my recognition of the ascending broadening price pattern alongside the key reversal. I was so excited about this trade. I put this bet on in multiple trading accounts that I have. Here's another trading account where you can see that the same 320 expiration expiring just a week after I put them on. I made $111,000 on that trade in addition to the $195,800 I made in the other account. So this is how I capitalize on market setups using just price pattern and price action trading analysis.
So I hope you got a ton of value and input out of this video. If you like what you see and you'd like to understand how to capitalize on monster gains in the markets, then I suggest you check out the free Forex trading strategies on my website, thepatterntrader.com. I'll put a link attached to this video. Check out the website, check out our trading strategies, and if you like what you see, let us know. With that said, I wish you guys a healthy and prosperous trading week, and I will see you next time.